The night was unusually quiet, except for the faint drizzle tapping against the empty pavement. Ethan, a 26-year-old graphic designer, was walking home from work, his hood pulled up against the cold. The streets were deserted, bathed in the pale orange glow of flickering streetlights. His phone battery had died an hour ago, and the silence of the night felt heavier with every step. As he turned the corner near Maple Avenue, something caught his eye, a faint glow in the middle of the street. At first, he thought it was a reflection from a passing car, but no vehicle had gone by in minutes. He stepped closer. Lying face down on the wet asphalt was a smartphone, its cracked screen faintly pulsing with light as if breathing. Ethan crouched down and picked it up. The moment his fingers touched it, a shiver ran through his arm. The phone was still warm, though it had clearly been there for some time. Water droplets slid off its surface as he turned it over. The screen came alive instantly. No lock screen, no password, just a home display showing the time. 12:07 a.m. A missed call notification appeared on the screen. One missed call. Mom, followed by a message preview. Where are you? Please answer me. Ethan frowned. The wallpaper showed the blurry face of a woman, eyes wide open, her mouth slightly parted as if mid-scream. He looked around the street, calling out, "Hello? Did someone drop their phone?" No answer. Only the rain, steady and cold. He hesitated, but decided to take the phone with him, thinking he'd return it in the morning. As he slipped it into his pocket, the screen flickered once more. For a brief second, the reflection in the screen wasn't his. It was someone standing behind him. He spun around quickly. The street was empty. Only the soft hum of a distant streetlight filled the silence. Ethan reached his small apartment around 12:30 a.m., still holding the mysterious phone. The rain had stopped, leaving a thick mist clinging to the streetlights outside his window. He tossed his wet jacket aside and placed the phone on his coffee table. It immediately lit up, as if sensing he'd arrived home. No lock screen, no password, just that same haunting wallpaper. The terrified woman's face, half-shadowed, eyes pleading for something unseen. He felt uneasy but couldn't resist curiosity. Maybe it belongs to someone nearby, he muttered. As he scrolled through the call logs, every entry said the same name, Mom. Dozens of missed calls over the last 2 days. Then suddenly, right before his eyes, a new text appeared. From unknown. Thank you for finding my phone. Don't look behind you. Ethan froze. His breath hitched. A chill crept down his spine. Slowly, he turned his head toward the dark hallway behind him. Empty. He let out a shaky laugh. Weird prank, he whispered, trying to dismiss the feeling crawling under his skin. He opened the Messages app again, but the text had vanished. No trace of it. He even checked the sent box. Nothing. Thinking he was imagining things, Ethan got up to grab some water. That's when the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then stabilized. He turned toward the mirror hanging above the TV, and his heart stopped. His reflection was there, but it moved a second later than he did. He rubbed his eyes, blinked hard, and looked again. This time, everything seemed normal. I really need sleep, he whispered, forcing a laugh. He placed the phone face down on the table and sat back on the couch. But just before closing his eyes, the phone buzzed again. He turned it over slowly. The message on the screen read, "Too late. I'm already inside." The apartment went silent, except for the faint sound of breathing that wasn't his own. Ethan didn't sleep that night. Every creak in the apartment felt louder than usual. The air had turned heavy, and a faint static buzz seemed to hang in the room. Around 2 a.m., unable to rest, he picked the phone back up. The screen came alive again instantly, almost expecting him. He opened the photo gallery. There were only 2 folders, camera, and another titled Watch Me. The second one was locked with a small red padlock icon. But before he could try to open it, the folder unlocked by itself. His hand trembled as he tapped it. Inside were 6 video clips, each only a few seconds long. The first 5 showed random streets filmed at night, shaky, handheld footage of people walking, unaware they were being recorded from a distance. Rain, footsteps, heavy breathing. No faces visible. Then came the 6th video. It started just like the others, a quiet street, dim streetlights, the sound of soft rain. But Ethan froze when he saw the figure in the video. The camera was pointed directly at him, walking down Maple Avenue, just an hour ago. The angle was from across the street. Someone had been filming him as he found the phone. His throat tightened. He replayed it again, hoping he was mistaken. No, it was him. His same jacket, same steps, same moment. At the end of the video, the camera zoomed closer until the lens shook violently. Then, the final frame froze, showing Ethan's face turning toward the camera, his expression confused. The video ended abruptly. The phone buzzed his hand. A new message appeared. "Nice to see you found it." Ethan's heart raced. He glanced toward the window, where raindrops streaked the glass. In the reflection, for just one fleeting second, someone was standing behind him, watching. When he turned, no one was there, but the phone's camera light flicked on by itself, pointing straight at his face. The glowing clock on Ethan's wall showed 3 a.m., the dead hour. He sat motionless on the couch, staring at the phone lying on the table. Its camera light had finally turned off, but the unease in the room hadn't faded. Every few seconds, a faint clicking noise echoed from the hallway, like slow, deliberate footsteps. Then, the phone rang. The sudden vibration made him jump. The screen read, "Incoming call, unknown." He hesitated, his heartbeat pounding in his ears. Against his better judgment, he swiped to answer. "Hello." His voice cracked slightly. For a few seconds, there was only static. Then, a distorted whisper came through. "Give it back." Ethan's eyes widened. "Who is this?" The whisper grew louder, urgent, almost human, but not quite. "Give it back now." He hung up immediately, breathing hard. The phone rang again. This time, the screen didn't say unknown. It said Ethan me. Confused and terrified, he answered again and froze. The voice on the other end wasn't distorted anymore. It was his own voice. "Ethan, please help me. It's coming." He dropped the phone, letting it clatter to the floor. The sound of whispering filled the room. Faint at first, then building, overlapping voices repeating the same word. "Return it, return it." The lights flickered violently. His front door creaked open by itself, the hinges groaning in the silence. Muddy footprints appeared on the wooden floor, wet, fresh, leading toward his bedroom. Ethan picked up the phone with trembling hands. The call was still active, but the voice had changed again, softer now, almost childlike. "You shouldn't have taken what's not yours." He looked toward the bedroom. The door was half open. Darkness filled the gap like a thick fog. Then came a faint whisper from inside the room, not from the phone, but from within the house. "Ethan." The call disconnected. The hallway light went out, and something began to move in the dark. Ethan stood frozen in the living room, every nerve in his body screaming to run, but his legs refused to move. The air had grown icy, and his breath came out in short white puffs. From the bedroom door, a slow creak echoed, as if something or someone was leaning against it from the inside. He gripped his phone tightly, the screen's faint glow the only source of light. The footprints that trailed across the wooden floor ended right at the doorway. He hesitated for a moment, then turned on the phone's flashlight. The narrow beam cut through the darkness, trembling in his shaking hands. "Hello." His voice cracked. "Who's there?" No reply. He took a cautious step forward, shining the light into the room. The bed was unmade, the curtains fluttering slightly from a draft. But there was something wrong. The mirror on the far wall. It was fogged over, as though someone had been breathing on it from the inside. Ethan moved closer, and his reflection came into focus. But what he saw made his stomach twist. His reflection was smiling. He wasn't. The grin on the reflected Ethan stretched wider, unnatural and slow, teeth showing through shadow. The reflection tilted its head, even though Ethan hadn't moved. Suddenly, the phone buzzed in his hand again. The screen switched to a live video feed, a view of his own room, but from a different angle. The camera seemed to be positioned right behind him. On the screen, Ethan could see himself standing there, staring into the mirror, and behind him, a tall, distorted figure. Its body was blurry, as though it were flickering in and out of existence, but its eyes glowed faintly white. He spun around. Nothing. The room was empty. But when he looked back at the phone screen, the figure was now right beside him. The feed cut to black. From somewhere behind him, a whisper echoed, low and cold. "You can't hide from what's already yours." Ethan stumbled backward, his mind spinning in terror. The phone slipped from his hands, crashing to the floor, but not breaking. Its screen flashed violently, images flickering too fast to comprehend. Faces, places, blood, and that same screaming woman from the wallpaper. Her voice echoed faintly from the speaker, distorted and desperate. "Help me, please make it stop." Then silence. Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He snatched the phone, ran outside barefoot, the cold rain pelting his face. He sprinted down the deserted street until he reached the same spot where he'd found the phone. Gasping, trembling, he threw it onto the wet asphalt. "Take it. Just take it back," he shouted, voice cracking. For a moment, there was only the sound of the rain. Then, from the shadows at the edge of the street, a figure stepped forward. An old man, drenched and pale, his eyes hollow like someone who hadn't slept in years. "You shouldn't have taken what's cursed," the man said softly. "It finds its next host through pity." Ethan's throat tightened. "What do you mean, host?" "Look inside. The woman in that phone, she was murdered during a live stream last year. Her killer filmed it through that very device. Since then, anyone who touches it becomes trapped. Their soul marked, their image captured in its memory. You've seen the videos, haven't you?" Ethan's stomach dropped. "The last one showed me." The old man nodded. "Then it's too late." Before Ethan could respond, the phone buzzed again on the ground. Its screen lit up, a live feed of Ethan and the old man standing in the rain. The video zoomed closer on Ethan's face. The old man stepped back in fear. "It's already chosen you." Ethan looked down at his hands. His reflection shimmered on the wet pavement, smiling back at him, even though he wasn't. Then the phone stopped recording. The storm had quieted, but the street was eerily silent. Ethan stood alone under the dim orange streetlight, soaked to the bone, staring at the phone lying in the middle of the road. Its screen was still glowing faintly, showing the reflection of his trembling face. He hesitated, then slowly reached down to pick it up one last time. The moment his fingers touched the glass, the phone began recording on its own. "Rec 1 second." A faint voice echoed from the speaker. The same woman from before. "It's your turn now." Ethan stumbled backward, breathing hard. The air grew colder. The fog thickened around him until he could barely see the houses nearby. He turned in circles, trying to find the old man, but the street was empty, completely deserted. Then, through the static-laced screen, he saw movement. The phone's camera was showing a live feed again, but it wasn't recording him standing still. It showed him screaming, twisting, trying to fight off something invisible in the dark. The image was delayed, like a memory being rewritten in real time. No, this isn't real." Ethan yelled, throwing the phone to the ground. But it didn't break. The camera kept rolling. He turned to run, but his reflection in a nearby car window stayed behind, watching him leave with that same unnerving grin. Suddenly, the screen flickered again. The words "file saved," Ethan.mp4 appeared. Hours later, as dawn broke, police discovered the phone still lying on the wet street, the recording still playing. It showed only fog, rain, and faint echoes of someone screaming in the distance. The last frame of the video froze on Ethan's terrified face, his mouth open in a silent plea for help before the screen went black. A few minutes later, a passerby walking his dog noticed the phone. He picked it up curiously. The screen lit up. New device connected. The cycle began again.